This segment is sponsored in part by Con Edison, committed to providing 100% clean energy by 2040.
Climate change is taking its toll on the New York area. The extreme weather events this summer may have caught some of us by surprise. But the company that supplies power to 10 million New Yorkers has been preparing for this for years to make sure their customers can count on them when needed most.
We've seen it all this summer. Torrential downpours, flooding, scorching heat that lasted for days. These are all things that can have devastating effects on electrical grids. Those grids deliver electricity from the plant to your home. We've seen what can happen when extreme weather impacts the grid. During Superstorm Sandy, the East 13th substation was compromised and power was out for weeks.
Here is our memory of that, right? Yeah. Sandy, this is actually where the water got up to in this part of New York City.
The substation is now raised and fortified with a retaining wall, floodgates, and cabling has been changed from copper to fiberglass to prevent rusting. This is only a fraction of what Con Edison has done to prepare for climate change.
We do so much, but I think it's so important for average New Yorkers to see what we do behind the scenes.
Nelson Yip is the strategic planning engineer for Con Edison.
You led a study for Con Edison on climate change vulnerabilities in the New York City region. What did the report tell us about this increase in extreme heat?
What it says is that extreme heat will continue. And to put this into perspective, annually we have 4 days per year over 95 degrees. The latest science shows by 2030, it could be 17 days. And then by 2050, up to 32 days per year. That's 1/3 of the summer. That's over 95 degrees.
Over 95 degrees. Is that shocking in any way, shape, or form to you?
It is shocking, but we want to make sure that we're prepared.
Environmental lawyer and founder of the Sabin Center for Climate Change Law, Michael Gerard, says the Climate Change Vulnerabilities Study, developed in collaboration with Columbia University, has become the gold standard for utilities, not only in the U.S., but globally.
A Con Ed study advanced the science in that there had been a lot of attention paid to temperature, but not so much to humidity. And the combination of temperature and humidity is especially bad for the wires and cables and so forth, because the more temperature and humidity, the less power they can carry.
And in order to be prepared for the physical effects of climate change, Con Edison is making infrastructure repairs now.
We have to be ready. As a utility, we have to reimagine the way we're planning, reimagine the way we're operating, and really reimagine how we're providing resiliency for all our customers and all New Yorkers.
What does this mean for you? Fewer power outages when storms strike and less damage to Con Edison's equipment. So if the lights do go out, repairs can be made quickly to get you back up and running sooner. Key to this strategic team who's making sure New Yorkers continue to have the best service today and in the future is Con Edison's meteorologist, Jessica Ptashenchuk.
The primary focus on what we basically narrow in on every day is what kind of weather are we looking at in the next 7 days that could potentially create power outages. Are we looking at strong winds? Are we looking at extreme heat? Are we looking at things like snow melt? All of those things are things that we focus on every day to forecast.
What do we think about the New York region in particular? Because I do feel, I've been a New Yorker my entire life, and I do feel like this has been a swing that's been unusual, at least in my lifetime.
We have two different averages that we can look at. We can look at averages that started going all the way back to the 1800s for the Central Park area in New York City, and we can also look at what's called the climate normal, which is just the last 30 years. So we're trending warmer and warmer and warmer. With almost every year, only a handful of summers have been cooler than that average in the last 10, 15 years.
Jessica, we are currently in hurricane season, and I wonder if you could talk to us about that and the impacts that the hurricanes are going to have. Are they getting stronger? They're more plentiful?
This year is an El Nino year, which typically means we're going to see quieter, less hurricanes, winds kind of just tearing everything apart in terms of stopping formation. But how warm the waters are is like negating that factor. Right now, the Atlantic basin is seeing record warm waters, and so that's affecting things like hurricanes and tropical storms.
With all of this change, how does this make your approach to what you do different or the same?
We're looking at, the extreme end of things. How much stronger can storms get, and how much hotter can we actually get?
Projecting for those extremes allows for Con Edison's teams time to improve their storm resiliency.
What do you say to everyday New Yorkers, the average New Yorker who's lived here? What do you say to them to sort of assuage their fears or their concerns in terms of preparedness?
We are a utility that is forward-thinking and forward-looking.
And always looking towards the future, using climate-driven science to make investments for preparedness, Con Edison is making sure they can take care of New Yorkers today and for years to come.
For more information on Con Edison's strategic plan to serve its customers, head to coned.com/energyfuture.